Hi guys, and welcome back to Tea Time with Livvy. I hope you're all right, and I hope you enjoyed the last episode. Everyone is literally going crazy for me last episode with the witch assist, and honestly, it was a juicy one. It was so good, and if you think that's good, then get used to it because the guests that I've got planned over the next few weeks, yous are going to be obsessed. And yeah, so today I am literally I've got so much to update you on. I've just been fishing for a week, haven't I? And oh my god, the story times I have got. Every single time I go fishing, I just just something weird happens. I got hooked last time, and this time I got threatened with hot coffee by a 70-year-old woman. That's honestly, I just couldn't believe it. So I've got so much to tell you, and then I just need to give you an update on everything, guys.
Tea time with Livvy. Tea time with Livvy.
So let me start. I just feel like I've been away for like 2 months. I swear to God, I went to Mykonos at the start of July. I felt like I was there for about 2 years because I'm never going away for 10 days again. I know when it's been a week, you always think, oh, like I'm not ready to come home. But then anything longer than a week, you're like, oh my God, no, I'm ready to go home. So I was there for ages. Then I got back. I had Ibiza. Me and Ibiza just don't mingle anymore, unfortunately. Like, next time, if there is a next time, then I am just going to like do nice cute things, but you say that, don't you, and then you end up out. And then I got back from Ibiza on the Monday, and I'd booked George a fishing trip for his birthday for the Friday for 7 days. 7 days, honest to God. So honestly, I don't even know how we made it there, to be completely honest, because we literally felt like shit. But then it was so nice to go at that time because we probably needed it. It was so nice. This time it wasn't in a tent, so I wasn't actually that bothered. It was in like this yurt. Have you ever heard of a yurt? Oh my God. Do you know, I loved it at first. I thought this is so cute, so cozy. Like, it had a projector and everything. I thought little movie nights. It had a kitchen, so I was going to Tesco doing full-on food shops and that, thinking I can still eat my normal tea. And then what and then I had to come home on the Sunday. So I come home on the Sunday because I had to shoot on the Monday for something that's coming soon. I can't wait to show you. And then I was filming for the podcast on the Tuesday with Molly. So I was home for 2 nights and then I went back. Now, you know, I've heard of spider season before. Yeah, I've heard of it before. When I used to live in my mum's, when this time of year would come, you'd go down, like once my mum had locked up and I needed a drink, I'd go down and I'd literally be fronted in the kitchen by a spider. But now I live alone. No, I can't explain it. Like now when you live in your own house, spider season is so much more noticeable. Like there's been a few of mine, but not too bad, to be honest, because I live in like the all nature. I thought that spider season would hit hard, but to be completely fair, it genuinely hasn't been too bad. I haven't seen anything too big, touch wood. Just like the odd, I have seen one big one, but it wasn't like a fat big one. It was like a skinny little legged one, so it wasn't that big of an issue. I just stood on it, and I don't really care whether people say don't kill them. Honestly, do you think I'm literally just gonna let this spider just move in? I do not fucking think so. I'm not even catching it because I just hate them. So when I went back to this yurt, the first half was fabulous. I didn't really see that many spiders, but I will say one thing: as you like before you go into the doors of the yurt, there's like a little like a shelter, a little bit like and it was just full of cobwebs. Like when you were sat there was just spiders above you, like everywhere. And I was literally going to text the woman and say like, love, it cost like 800 and something quid to stay there for the week. I thought, fucking get your hose pipe out and wash the fucking cobwebs off the walls, do you know what I mean? So but I was like, I'm not going to say nothing. And then oh my God, it started to get worse because these spiders found their way in. And while I'd been gone, George was keeping the door open. When I was there the first half, I was making sure to like shut the door and that behind me, even if it was getting dead hot in the yurt. I was like, just keep the door shut and put the fans on. So anyway, I'd come back after obviously coming home for work, and then the first night I got back, I never got back till quite late on the Tuesday night, and we went to like this chippy round the corner and picked up some food. So we were out for like an hour. And I've done so much research on spiders, yeah. Apparently they know when you're there. So when they know that no one's there, that's when they come out. So there's probably spiders all around us, but because they can hear us, because spiders can hear, they literally can hear, yeah. So that's something I never knew. Apparently they've got fucking ears. So we'd been out for like an hour. So obviously these little fuckers, I'd thought that we were gone. So as I've walked in the door with my chippy ready to dish my food on, there's 2 spiders on the wall. They're not that big. A few nights before that, though, there was a huge one on the ceiling. Like one, I've never seen a spider that big. George had to hoover it up, but that had been like the only big one we'd seen. So we put the Henry the Hoover outside. Like it did not. I was like, you are not putting that back in that cupboard because they can crawl out. Like, and George like, they can't, and I was like, they fucking can. So walk in, there's 2 little ones, and I'm like, George, I'm like, fucking kill them. I can't cope. Like, it put me off my food instantly. So then I've dished my food up, and I've sat on the bed, and as I'm eating, I haven't got my glasses on, but I can just see this big, massive thing above the cooker, and me and George clock it at the same time, and he's like, no fucking way. And it got to the point where George was trying to kill that one, and then next minute, a big fuck off tarantula, I just seen it just run at me on the bed. Like I can deal kind of with them being on the walls away from me. But when it's actually in me bed, like it really, I did not get in that duvet for the rest of the nights I was there. I was lay on top of the duvet thinking I am not putting my legs underneath this quilt in case something touches me. So I'm eating me battered sausage and getting fronted by an absolute fucking unit of a spider. I just screamed. Buddy was like shaking like a leaf, and George had to come and kill that one as well. And I was that close. I'd only just got there 2.5 hours. It took me to get there. And I was literally on the verge of getting back in my car and driving back home and then just picking George up on the Friday. But George was begging me to stay, so I felt bad because it was his birthday trip. So, yeah, it was so good, and I actually did enjoy myself, and it was dead relaxing. But then them spiders, oh my god, mate, I've never seen nothing like it. And you know, and I was telling my mum while I was there when I was having like a fucking mini bee, I was like, mum, there's so many. And then my mum shook her bed the other day when she was making a bed when she woke up, and there was a big, massive spider on a bed, like, and then she was getting ready, sat on the floor in front of a mirror, and there was a big one in the room, like in the corner. Now I've said to my mum, my mum's getting them as well. So yeah, that was the one thing that like freaked me out. So to get out of this fucking year, because once I seen them, I just felt a little bit like minty, like, you know, where you're like, oh, there's just like spiders all over me. I literally my skin was crawling, literally. So I thought, right, one morning I woke up and we actually, oh my god, George got his PB fish. We were actually catching fish this time. The past few times we've blanked, so it was actually nice that George went and caught fish this time, because usually like we're sat there for like 5 days and not a fucking thing. Because last time we went to Linear, they were actually starting to spawn. Spawn means like have sex, and when the fish start to spawn, you can't fish the lake. So half the lake actually got shut, so that actually wasn't George's fault, even though other people was catching, but it was harder to catch because they were spawning. And then the time before, we just had to, like, everything was going wrong because he hadn't been for a while, so like it was just a nightmare. Oh yeah, and then I got hooked, didn't I? Oh my god, at least he fucking caught me. And then yeah, so then we've been up all night catching. He caught like a 29-pounder, and this is literally like the biggest ick ever. Oh, I can't even go. So when a man, this is what men do, okay? We create life. We are the women of the earth. And this is what men do when they catch the biggest fish. They stand in the lake with their biggest fish, and you have to tip a bucket of water over their head. That is a celebration that they do, that grown men do over a fucking carp. So George has caught a 29-pounder. He's been doing me head in anyway. And I thought, oh, I remember that little trick that you told me, that when you catch your biggest fish, you get swilled. I thought, I'm fucking getting him. I filled up this big, massive bucket of water. I was like getting the water. He had hold of the fish, and I had to fucking tip the water all over him. He did have his hood up, so it didn't really count. But I was thinking, I can't imagine, like, men. It's funny because I'm his girlfriend, you get what I mean? But, like, imagine being with your mate and getting your actual other man mate to swill you. Like, is that not fucking weird? Is that not weird? I just could not cope. So he got swilled anyway. That was their fun. But we never went to sleep till like 5, and then I woke up at 11 and was like, do you know what I could do with a coffee? So I drove to the Starbucks. It was like 15 minutes away, and I took Buddy with me because he wanted a puppuccino. And basically, I've gone. So in this, obviously, it was in like Chewensbury, or I can't even remember where it was, but it was out the way anyway. So obviously I've not known anyone there basically, and I've gone in, I had my pajamas on, it wasn't a drive-through, like fucking hell. To be honest, I'd do that in my local Starbucks, never mind somewhere that I don't even know, do you know what I mean? So, and plus I'm camping. Like, this is literally the saying of don't judge a book by its cover. Just because I'm stood there in my pajamas, you don't know my circumstances. I'm stuck in a yurt with actual fucking tarantulas. I'm basically playing a game of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, and you're judging me because I'm in my PJs. So let me tell you this story of how I literally got threatened by a 70-year-old woman. So I've gone into the Starbucks. There's hardly anyone in there. There's a mum with a baby in the corner. Then there's an old man and the fucking actual evil witch herself. She must have been about 70 odds, I swear to God, early 70s. So I've walked in and then there's another older lady in front of me. She's ordering, she's just paid, and then I'm ordering mine. So as I'm ordering my food and she's like putting it all in, I've turned round and the evil witch who was sat right on the other side of the shop but facing me, like, looked me up and down. So I thought, oh yeah, here goes. I never thought here goes, but I knew she was judging me because I had my Primark PJs on, which, by the way, were new. And they were fucking cute. Like, don't look at me like that. So I never said that. Obviously, I'm not going to start fronting anyone who I don't really give a fucking hell. It's not the end of the world. But then as I was ordering and I was, like, about to pay for my food, this old lady ends up, like, coming next to me. And I thought, she's going to say something to me. I just thought, is she going to say something, like, about my pyjamas? So I've just paid, and I stepped back, obviously waiting for my coffee and that to be made. And next minute, the girl behind the desk, she must have been about 19. She was young. She was quite quiet, like she was shy. You could tell that, like, off the bat, you know what I mean? She kind of reminded me of my little sister Emmy. Like, if Emmy worked in Starbucks, that's how she would be. Nothing wrong with it, but some people are just a bit quiet, which is fine. So this old woman, who's about 4'9", has come over and said to the woman, why are you serving other people and not made my Americano? Now, at the time, this young lady was just on her own serving the 3 people who were waiting. So obviously the evil witch, me, and the other old woman. So she's on her own. She like, it's not proper busy, but there was no one else there helping her. So she's gone, why are you serving other people when I haven't had my Americano? Make me my Americano now. I've been waiting 5 minutes. And I was just like, wow. And the girl kind of looked like she was literally going to cry. I feel like I just felt our last, because I thought, if someone spoke to my little sister like that when she's literally working in Starbucks, she's trying to earn a living, like, oh my God, mate, I would literally throw hands. So I thought, she might not be brave enough to stand up for herself, but there's a reason that God has put me in this fucking Starbucks at this exact time. And it's to stick up for this lovely young girl. So I said, Jesus Christ, I said, there's no need to speak to her like that. I said, she's only trying to do a job. I said, what's she meant to do? Keep everyone waiting and make her, like, and she was just serving the rest of the people who were in line, and then she would have made all the coffees at once because there was no one else in the shop. Like, fucking wait your turn, do you know what I mean? And she was like, go back to bed. That's the first thing she said. So that just confirmed in my brain that you was snarling me over my pajamas, because that comeback was way too quick for the 72-year-old woman. So I said, oh, right, I just thought, right, this bitch wants to start. So I said, go back to bed. I said, you're trying to make me feel embarrassed for being stood here in a pair of pajamas. I'd rather be stood in a pair of pajamas than going around speaking to people like, who were just doing the job the way that you've just spoke to that young girl. She was like, if I wanted your opinion, I would have asked. And I went, well, if she wanted yours, she would have asked you, you fucking idiot. And she went, what else? And then she was just going, oh my God, because I was swearing. I said, I've been swearing since the start. I said, me swearing makes no difference. You, who are you to be so entitled to think that you can speak to people with the utmost disrespect? And then the minute that someone, like, makes you feel a little bit of, like, I basically humbled her. I swear to God, I've never seen, like, someone's face drop so much in their life. And it was because you've just been called out on your fucking bullshit. And there's one thing about me is, what made me so mad is, 1, because I could tell the girl was shy. 2, because I couldn't believe it was a woman to a woman. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just feel ass about people who work in, like, hospitality, like, McDonald's, like, all these places, because you can imagine the shit that they deal with every day. You know, if, like, someone asks for a plain cheeseburger and it comes with sauce, even though they're going to replace it for nothing, they just go so angry. Like, I get that it's frustrating sometimes, but fucking hell, shit happens. How many times in your job do you make mistakes? Like, everyone makes mistakes. Don't, like, absolutely, like, be horrible and tear someone for it. So, and that just done me head in. But, you know, if it was a man who was speaking to a woman like that, I probably wouldn't be as shocked. You'd think you cheat. You just, I would have said something to the man as well. That's the problem with me. I just fucking hate people. But it was the fact that you are an older woman. You know what it's like for women these days anyway, in these kind of jobs, in just this world, and you want to make her and ruin her morning and make her feel like a fucking piece of shit on the bottom of your shoe. Not on my watch. Literally not on my fucking watch. So because I've basically tethered her and she doesn't know what to say, I'm like, look at you. I said, you can't say me about my pyjamas. I said, you did. So she just started staring at me. I swear to God, I can't describe this woman. Blonde, like the blonde with glasses, tiny, and I'm 5 foot myself. So the fact that I was looking down at her, like I was literally looking down at her because she was that short, and just a horrible, evil little bitch. Like, just imagine that face that I'm talking to right now. So because she has nothing else to say, and she's like, she's going, this generation. I'm like, what generation? I'm the one with morals here, sticking up for what's right. It's your generation that's coming in here and treating people with disrespect. I said, let's not talk about generations. As do you know what really does me head in? Not all old people that this applies to, but like the actual double standards that old people give, like the Gen Z fucking, like, they're just all of us youngers. They even when you drive and say if you go to pull out at a roundabout or you don't indicate or something, the way the road rage old people will get with you, the shit that I've been called by old men and old women, and like the faces and the beeping and everything like that. But then, you know, I walk to my local co-op and an old lady's put a Fiat 500 in the middle of the shop, and it's just like, oh, God love her. If it was a young person who put their car into the middle of the co-op, can you imagine the way that like all the older, not even like old people, I just mean like even like people our mum's age, like, oh, these kids these days, blah, 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 blah. Fucking it. But then they do all the same things and like make the same mistakes, but then when it's them, they just like, oh, it just does me head in. So, yeah, so she just carried on staring at me, and I was like, will you stop staring at me, please? I said, you're making me feel uncomfortable. I said, just face the other way. I said, I've said what I've needed to say. You just, like, what are you doing? So now the 2 girls have come out. They must have been on a break because there was another 2 workers that had come out. And they're going to her, your Americano's ready. Your Americano's ready. And I'm going, your coffee's done. I said, you've literally just come and screamed at a young, innocent human because you want your coffee, and now your coffee's done. Stop staring at me and go and get your coffee. And she's gone, maybe I will. And maybe I'll spill it all over you. I said, go on then, because I'll get a fat claim anyway, you soft cunt. Like, don't fucking threaten me. So then she's went over to the end of the desk, picked up 2 mugs of coffee, which, again, just made me even more angry. Like, the fact that you're sat in here, you're clearly a pensioner and you're clearly retired. Your husband sat over there. You have come into Starbucks to have a coffee and sit in and drink your coffee. You're not in a rush. So, and what if you've been waiting 5 minutes? You know, if it was like someone who had like a proper work gear on and you knew that they were like flat, like in a rush, I still wouldn't allow that behaviour of speaking to people like that, because there's ways to go around things. But I would think, fair enough, like, there's, like, I get why you'd be so frustrated, but as an OAP, mate, I'd be fucking not asked. I'd be taking my time with every single fucking thing in life at that age. I would not give 2 single shits whether my coffee was 5 minutes or 10 minutes. In fact, I'd be quite happy that finally, for once in my life, not everything's a big rush to be somewhere or to get somewhere or whatever. So that done me head in, the fact that they weren't in paper cups. So then I've watched her and she's fucking hobbled, and I mean literally hobbled. She's definitely had a hip replacement. Hobbled up to me. And I'm telling you now, guys, she got this close to me with the mugs. And I genuinely thought for a split second, she's going to tip these all over me. Like I actually did. That would have scalded my skin. But if she would have done that, who remembers that man I swear it was Starbucks. It was Starbucks or Costa years ago. This is so bad that I was thinking like this. Obviously, I would rather it have not happened to me. But I was thinking, you're just going to shoot yourself in the foot here, because remember when you got hot coffee and now on the lids it has to say caution hot. And basically at the time, it never. So I think it was when the Starbucks worker passed him his drink or something like that, it spilt all over him. And he done a claim, and said that it wasn't because it didn't have this caution on the lid, and they had to pay him millions and millions of pounds. So I'm thinking, if this old woman makes me a millionaire, I am gonna scream. Honest to God, it would have been hysterical. It would have burnt my skin. I mean, I would never ever. I'd rather not be a millionaire and have fresh young skin. But I thought, I fucking dare you, love, because I was still would have wigged you even if I was burning and fucking pain. I said, oh my God, I was just going, oh my God, look at you. Now, at this point, this younger couple had walked in and they were seeing it, and they heard the conversation. Like, they must have been stood there for like 3-4 minutes anyway before she went and picked the coffee up and come and threatened me with it. And they were just like, oh, wow, this is shocking. And I went, get out. I was like, you are embarrassing. I said, look at you. I said, if this was me I threatening you with coffee, I said, the police would be getting rang. So then, I'm going to it. I'm turning around to her husband going, how have you married her? She literally is evil. I said, look at you. And I'm shaking and she's going, ha, 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 ha. Like, walking away. Honestly, guys, she didn't look tapped, but she looked like a normal, like, young, like, old little lady. But, like, the more that this was going on, I was thinking, I think that she actually is a bit of a Looney Tune. So, she sat down anyway, and the couple is speaking to me, going, oh my God, that's shocking. When I was arguing with her and the two girls came out, they were smiling, and that girl was proper made up. She was like, thank you so much. As she giving me egg bites and my coffee and a puppuccino. And I was like, it's fine. I went, it's fine, girls. I said, don't let people like that speak to you like shit. I said, they just think the best of everyone because they're older. I said, the fucking not. And then I went, and because everyone who was in there, because there was also this man working on his laptop, they were all obviously on my side. They'd all seen it firsthand. And they were like, oh, we hope you're all right. Have a lovely day. That was fucking terrible, that. And, like, the woman's just, like, looking. So I've gone, have a nice day, yous. And then as I've walked past in, I've gone, and you have a fucking shit one, you little evil bitch. And walked out with my coffee. But then I got into my car and I was literally vibrating. I swear down, I've never felt anger. Like, no, I have felt anger like that, but not for a long time. Like, I couldn't even drive. I had to sit in my car for, like, 5 minutes and, like, take deep breaths because I was like shaking. But he wouldn't even have his puppuccino because I think he could feel my energy. I was like, what the fuck? So I finally drove back to the years and told George, and George was like, take me to Starbucks now. I was like, no, George, you're not doing an old fella in. But the fact that a fella never said nothing, or like, he just, but then when I turned around, he was like shaking his head at me. It's so delusional how people genuinely just like don't see the wrong sometimes in so many situations. It's just, but then I was thinking, when I got in the car, am I bad for, like, sometimes I don't get involved in anything. I don't ever rub my nose in anything, barely anyway. Sometimes I do. And I'm like, do I just need to learn to keep my mouth shut? Like, I was actually sat there thinking, should I have got involved? But then I thought, no, fucking too right, I should have got involved. Because like I've just said, if that was one of my, like, sisters and someone would have stuck up for it, I would have been so grateful for that. Do you know what I mean? And I knew the girl was as well. So yeah, guys, that is the fucking hot coffee with that one. Never mind tea. This video is sponsored by I'm So Pretty Official. As a valued trade customer, you will receive luxury hair extensions at a discounted price, and you will also have your own account manager. At I'm So Pretty Official, there are 14 different shades available, as well as custom colours. They also offer lengths from 16-inch to 32-inch, and you can also get different styles of hair, from wefts to nanos to tape. So guys, you are going to be getting exclusive discounts, tailored prices, and you are going to have access to next day delivery if you order before 1 p.m. and you can get same day delivery if you are local. The best part about it is, even though it's a trading account, you will still have access to different options on how to pay. There is actually an option that is called Pretty Now Pay Later, and you can use that and basically pay with Klarna and ClearPay on your Clear account. To set up your trading account today, visit I'm So Pretty Official and get it all set up. Bye. Yeah, so I was fuming and I got back, and to be honest, we actually just chilled the rest of the time we were there. It was lovely, but then it was time to come home. And yeah, when I got back, I feel like I haven't been home for ages. Like, I honestly do want to travel and like do so much, but on the same note, I do love being at home, and I am a little bit of an introvert, and I do think now that I've got my own place and like I live alone, it's maybe got a little bit worse. I said this to you, didn't I? And I'm not bothered about that. Like, I love being in my comfort zone, but then sometimes I need to just like not worry if I'm like away. But I don't worry. I just love my own comfort. You know what I mean? I love my own food. I love like me telly. I just love me shower. I love me skincare. I just love me routine in the house. But over the next like few months, my goal is to really like build a routine out the house as well, and like start like planning more things, doing more things, and like getting into a routine with the gym of like just like getting up and like going to do a little class or something like that, you know, just actually getting out the house. I have been better the past few weeks of like if I want to go and jump on the sunbed, because I live at like 20 minutes out the way of like anywhere where like the sunbed shops, all that, or like a Starbucks. I'm literally like 20 minutes away from a Starbucks. When it comes to doing something, it's just a bit long, do you get me? So I'm just like, oh, there's no point. But then I've told myself, like, next time I get the urge to like go and just like pop out, which I would have done when I lived in my mum's because everything's just local, then I'm just going to do it, and I'm not going to let that 20 minutes there and 20 minutes back like make me not leave the house, do you get me? So I'm currently tackling that, and then I'm going to start really building a little bit of more of a fucking routine. But yeah, that's the gossip really with the fishing trip. No hooks in me finger. We caught a few fish. He had 7 fish, I think, and lost 2. So one more story about the fishing trip, then I've got something else to tell you. But he basically, the girls who have fellas who fish, or any lads that are watching, you'll know what a common is. Oh, it's the fact I do, like, how embarrassing. A common is like a certain type of carp. So there's carp, but there's all different like types of them, yeah. So George he was having like big commons. We got 2 big commons. We had like a 25 pounder and a 29 pounder, and then he had like 4 like littler fish, like 60 and 20 pounds in that range. And all they've been saying is, because he had a mirror, but it was a small mirror. It was not big at all, but it was gorgeous, but it wasn't big. And he was like, please, God, just give me a big mirror. Just give me a big, fat, chunky mirror. Like, he'd had a chunky carp. He wanted the chunky mirror. So, I don't know. There's a difference on it. They just look different. I think it's like there's patterns and that on them too. So, anyway, we sat there one morning. It's like 6 a.m. Because we left all the curtains open, so when the sun would like rise, we'd wake up. We were always dead wake early, regardless of how late we went to sleep. And the rod just ripped off, and I was like, oh. So I actually get excited when the rod goes, and I'm making the cup of tea as well. George is getting the fish in, because we know that we're going to be up now, like putting the rods back out. And I'm like sat there. I made him a cup of tea. I've got my nightgown on. I'm fucking knackered. It's like 6 a.m. And he's got this fish in. He's got the fish in the net. Now, where this place was, there wasn't like a peg. Do you know what I mean? It was like a cabin, and it had all barriers. So when he was fishing, he had his like rods in the pond on his little fucking setup, and he was fishing in the pond. So he had to put his waders on every single time he got in the pond. So he's fished. He's brought the fish in. And he's gone, oh my God, it's a big fucking, it's a big, massive common. And he's got it in the net. But I felt so ass on him. He basically, when he was catching the fish, he was taking all the hooks out while he had the net, taking the hook out the mouth while it was in the water. But when he got the big 29 pounder the night before, I said, watch your net, George. I kept saying, watch your net. I said, the fish is going to jump out or something. And he would like pull it up and like do it. But because I was so early and I was just chilling watching BT, I thought surely he knows to fucking watch the net. And he was trying to get the hook out of this mid mouth, got it out, and then just let the fish swim off and tried to grab it with his hands instead of trying to scoop it. Because the net had hit the water, on level with the water, the fish just got out, and it was a big common. It probably would have been more than 29 pounds. I mean, it was a big mirror. What he'd been asking for, he was gutted. God love him. But yeah, we're gonna go back soon, I think, because he actually really liked it, and it was actually a proper nice little week away. I actually do love going fishing with him, because as much as I do moan, it is nice, like, because you get like proper quality time together. Oh, mind you, take that back. He took the PlayStation with him. Oh my God, guys. So the PlayStation is the bane of my life at home. And he took the PlayStation with him to this fucking thingy. So we were watching a few films on the first few nights, and then it just turned into a COD fest. Literally. And he was on the PlayStation. Then when we went out for breakfast one morning, because we were like wanted to get out the fucking year for a bit, we drove we walked past the CEX or something like that, and he bought a monitor because he's been wanting this monitor for ages. Like, to put, basically, so he'd be playing cards off this little monitor, like a proper nerd. So we bought this fucking monitor for like 70 quid because it's a projector, it's not like he couldn't really play properly. So now he's sat there on a monitor based up like it actually was a proper good setup. But I was thinking, he was like, when I get home, I'm going to get a little desk. And then I won't be on the telly all the time and you can watch the telly in the living room. And I was like, sound, I love watching the telly on my iPad now, though. Honestly, since I got this iPad, I just rather would watch my iPad than watch the telly. It's so weird. But I was like, yeah, sound, whatever. I was like, the desk, where are you going to put this desk, George, when we get home? George he's like, it is my house as well. And I was like, yeah, but that's fine. But I'm not having a desk with PCs on in the middle of my living room. Like, there's just no chance. So, and he just doesn't understand how that stuff makes me feel. Like, he must just think I'm just being awkward or being a moaning bitch. But the girlies watching this will understand, like, when a boy tries to add, like, their little touch into the middle of your immaculate styled, designed fucking living room. So I'm thinking, right, the desk can go behind the couch. I'm doing all measurements on IKEA, thinking I need something low so it doesn't look like higher than the couch and you can see it. And then when he comes off, I'll just fucking stash the PC underneath the desk. So from if you walked in, you still wouldn't notice the desk. So I'm coming up with all these plans in my head. We get home, and because he's obsessed with this fucking monitor now, because apparently you get quicker reflexes, you can see it all better, blah, blah, blah. He's basically my TV cabinet underneath my TV. He's moved all my Chanel books and my fucking accessories off my TV unit. Put this big fuck off monitor right slap bang in the middle. And then at first he was just sitting on the edge of the couch playing it. And then on Sunday I went and stayed with my mates. And I was out for the night, and I've come back. Please tell me why this boy has got his fishing chair, his big round fishing chair, the one that I got hooked on, in the centre of my living room. He's moved the buffet into the fucking bay window, and my house literally looks like a campsite. So I've just come in and just was seeing my ass. I was like, you're getting off that monitor. That fucking monitor's not staying there. Guys, I've got a picture. Just for all the lads, any lads that are watching thinking, oh, don't be so dramatic. Because some people think I'm mean to George. I'm not. I literally do everything for him. I love him to bits. But, like, the lads just comment sometimes, like, oh my God, Lee, you need to leave here. Why? Because I don't want me fucking living room looking like that. I don't think so, love. Let me show you this. She's genuinely going to be, like, gagged because I must have deleted it, guys, but if I find it, I'll send it over so we can insert the image here of what I come home to. So now me and George have had absolutely fucking screaming match. But the monitor, he's agreed to fucking put the monitor away for now and just play on the telly until he gets a desk, because I'm not coming into that. Like, I'm just not. I really don't. At first I was a little bit like about the desk, but I do not give a fuck about the desk now. I'd rather it be in a desk compact into the corner away than slap bang in the middle of my living room with a camping chair. Like, are you for real? Like, no. On my carpets as well. Oh my God, I literally nearly had a heart attack. But yeah, that's it really. That is honestly, but this weekend, it's so funny, this always makes me laugh, is obviously Creamfields. George loves Creamfields. I'm going to go myself, to be honest. I wasn't going to go because I hated it last year, but I hated it last year because I was getting actually a bit sick on the Saturday. Like, I started coming down with something, and I ended up being ill the whole week after it. But basically, it makes me laugh because 2 years ago is when I went viral for the I'm going to yak myself video. And I basically wrote on a vape box a note for George, didn't I, saying I'm going to kill myself if he speaks to anyone. And it was so funny, but I never posted till months after because obviously I do sound like a psychopath on it. But I was like actually arguing with myself like while I was getting ready, and it blew, and it got like over 1 million views. And every single time I meet someone, they always say, I followed you from that Creamfields video. It's either that or my Cartier ring. So I'm debating whether to repost it on my TikTok. I don't even get paranoid that he's gonna like. It's like, George, I'm not bothered. Like, do you know what it is with it? And when I went to Ibiza and like when I go places with him, people notice George. That's my fault. I've put him everywhere, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Like, I couldn't be in a relationship especially with how much I love and how much fun we have together. Like, if it was a bit more of like a simple, like not a simple relationship, but you know, we were not as fucking wild, then maybe I will keep it private. But because because we are so funny, like I can't and I shared everything, which is, it would be weird if I didn't share like one of the main things in my life. That's why I do share George. But people get onto George and it doesn't do me head in. Like, if you see him, say hi, of course, I love that. But last year when he was there, girls were like, George, only because he's like, obviously they were just like, oh my God, you're Livvy's boyfriend. It doesn't bother me at all. Like, he loves it, I think, secretly, as much as he pretends that he hates it. But I don't know, yeah. By the time you see this, Creamfields will be over anyway, so I'm not really asked. But yeah, sometimes I'm like, I wonder what people are going to be shouting his name this weekend. And not even that, it's not even yous that I worry about, because yous are all like my fucking besties, mate. Yous would never do anything like that anyway. It's just like, I just worry about everyone. But I'm actually not that worried. I'm a lot more chilled this year. Like, it's so weird how much man and George, like, touch wood, please, Lord, don't make me, don't jinx me. But like, since moving in together, I don't know, I feel like it's just like changed a lot for us in a good way. So like, usually I'd be like, oh, shaking at this point, because I just get anxiety and worry about everything. I'm just a bad overthinker. But this year I feel quite chilled. He's like, oh, like, you'll come on the Saturday, like, blah, blah, blah. He's like, two of his mates are going, so he's like, come with them. And I just don't feel like stressed as you usually would. So yeah, I'm actually excited. So if I've seen any of you at Creamfields, hey bitches. And I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. But that is a wrap for this week and an update on all my stories. And yeah, I will see you next week with a very exciting guest. I can't wait to show you. But again, guys, thanks so much for watching. And I am so excited for next week. So I will see you then. Love yous. Bye.